right, Jim, thanks. School is nearly out for all of our students in Southwest Florida, but as things heat up and summer, of course, starts to begin, how does summer impact our kids' schedules and routines? And I think if you're a parent watching, you probably say it impacts it a lot. Giselle Bouvier is back with us in studio with more on how we can keep our kids healthy during the summer, encourage them to make good choices. Because it's easy to slip out of a routine.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? For several months out of the year, you're waking up at this time, and then you get 12 weeks to do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. And it is normal for our kids to get out of their routine. I mean, they're going to bed later, maybe waking up later, or my kids wake up at the same time anyway, so they're kind of sleep deprived, yes. Right? They aren't moving their bodies as much. Maybe they're on their technology, they're not outdoors, and, you know, they tend to maybe snack a little bit more than usual, or don't have a regimen when it comes to their nutrition. So it definitely, the summer months may affect their schedule and routine.
What are some ways we can kind of keep them into a good, steady routine?
So I think develop a routine that works for you in the summer. You know, if a child can go to summer camp, great, because they will have more of a routine there. If they're going to stay home with you or with a relative, try to develop some kind of routine. Even if it's different from the school year, it will definitely help them as far as bedtime and then wake up time, meal time. If your child tends to snack and graze a little bit more, having snack times will be helpful too, because they do that during the school year, right? As far as movement, getting them to move as often as possible. You know, maybe it's taking them to the pool or the beach. It is really hot out right now, so if you are going to do like a midday walk, making sure they stay hydrated, or early morning or in the evenings, right? We have great sunsets. Enjoying that with your child is really important. But of course, if they really are into technology, there's so many games out there now that keep them moving, like the dancing games and the boxing games and all that. I think it's a great way to integrate movement with your child and also some fun.
That's awesome. And it's fun for people like us, because you and I have kids that we have much younger children in the house who want to keep up with the older children. So their routines are going to be slightly off no matter what. So is there a challenge, do you think, as a parent, to try to maintain one child's schedule versus another child's schedule?
Yeah, I think so. I think that really, like with the older children saying, okay, now it's the little one's nap time, like what can you do during this time? And maybe it's helping to keep up with their schoolwork, maybe reading a book or coloring or something like that will also keep them engaged, especially when they come back to school, not feeling like it's kind of dreadful, right? Yes. Having that routine is really important. So, and then keeping meal times the same, as close as possible, will really help them as far as keeping them aligned and feeling okay with their routine for the summer.
Quiet time in the house is always a challenge, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, it's quiet time. No, quiet time.
Yes,
quiet
exactly.
Time. How does weight play an issue, a child's weight play an issue during the summer months?
Absolutely. So, you know, as I mentioned, children may be moving a little bit less during the summer or maybe eating a little bit more. I want to encourage all parents that weight shifts during the summer are perfectly normal. You know, maybe your child is gaining a little bit of weight, again, because of that lack of movement, maybe eating more, or maybe a little bit of weight loss because they're hitting a growth spurt, especially during those puberty years or pre-puberty years, right? Don't be too concerned. Now, if there is significant weight loss or weight gain during those few months or few short weeks, making sure then you talk to a physician or a pediatric dietitian, you know, I think is really, really important. And also make sure that you're not talking about your child's weight or body changes in front of them.
Yeah.
That's so important, because you don't want them to have a negative perception that their body is wrong or have a poor relationship with their body and with food, because if they feel like their body is is shameful, then that will affect their relationship with food as well.
Yeah, it's amazing how at those ages psychology plays such an important role in helping keep them on a good path.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, when you think about the routine, think about other ways to encourage healthy habits. So I have a pediatric dietitian friend named Danny Lebovitz, and she loves to use the term food explorers. So during these summer months where you have maybe a little bit of time in the afternoon, especially that they're not doing homework or maybe those extracurricular activities, taking them with you to the grocery store and saying, hey, pick out a food you've never tried before and let's cook it together, right? Cool. Getting them into the kitchen or prep work or whatever it is will help your child to kind of explore new foods and encourage maybe those nutrient-dense foods. Or you may be surprised as a parent the food that they choose. Maybe it's a dairy product, a fruit, a vegetable, or grain they've never tried before. And so it's a great way to also have them explore nutrition during those summer months, and then in turn that'll kind of play a role into once they go back to school. So really establishing establishing a healthy routine, which in the long term will help to establish that nurturing relationship with food and more foods as far as their palate is concerned.
Yeah, for sure. If anybody wants more information on what we've talked about or Gisela Bouvier in general, where do they need to go?
They can go to GiselaBouvier.com or my social handles at Corporate Nutritionist.
Excellent. It's always good to have you.
Thanks so
I always
much for
enjoy
having
getting
me.
to talk to you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah, perfect. All right, 9:24. We got to go. We're back in a moment.